Welcome, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today, and congratulations. Once again, we are so excited to have offered you a seat in our class of 2028, and we are hoping that today's Campus Crawl event is going to be a really wonderful program that's going to be able to help you envision what might your life be like when you come here to live with us here at Hamilton. So of course, Hamilton is known for our strong academic programs, but a big part of your experience is going to be taking place on campus, even outside of the classroom. So for today's program, we are really excited to showcase a few of our wonderful community living and residence life facilities, and also to highlight some of our dining halls. Now, we have quite a few members of the Hamilton community who are here to showcase different aspects. But before we go too much further, I'd love to have my colleagues Tanith and Ashley join us so they can talk a little bit about community living in general here at Hamilton. Hello, hello. I would love it if Ashley and Tanith, if you could introduce yourselves to our audience today. Of course, I should say that I don't think I introduced myself, so let's do that for a moment really quickly. My name is Dr. Anna Wise. I am Associate Dean of Admission, one of the admission officers here at Hamilton College. So glad to be here with you. I'd love it, Tanith, if you'd be able to introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tanith Sherman, and I am the Associate Director of Housing and Conduct in the Office of Community Living.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Ashley.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley Place. I'm the Assistant Dean of Students for Community Living at Hamilton. I've been here for 15 years. Anna, do you want me to talk about what community living is?
Yeah, I really do. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So Tanith and I work in an office called Community Living. And so obviously that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So I like to tell people what exactly we oversee on campus. Our office is kind of a central hub for a lot of other things on campus. We're well connected to facilities management. We're well connected to campus safety. We're well connected to student support services, the counseling center, the health center, the dean of students office, basically everybody. And so we're really a fortunate group. We really like to work with all of our campus partners. And we love talking to students who are coming in and joining us and giving them a sense of what Hamilton feels like. And so our office specifically oversees housing, which Tanith will talk a lot about. We oversee student conduct. So when people get in trouble, they come and talk to us. And then we also have our community advisors in our office. So community advisors are like, if you know what an RA is, they're just called CAs for us. And they are student leaders who live in the residence halls with students. They go to class with you. They are really well versed in everything Hamilton has to offer. And they can be a really great support system for new students, especially.
Thank you. Thank you. Tanith, did you have additional information you want to share about housing on campus?
I think we're going to talk a lot about it later in our session, but yeah, I am available for all your questions, and we'll be talking about, all the different ways that you'll get housing for your first year, and then for all the years after, later on, after we do some touring.
Perfect. So let's do some touring. And as was mentioned, questions. We are also joined off camera by one of my colleagues, JD Ross. He's one of the admission officers here along with me at Hamilton, and he's going to be answering any questions you may have. Now, we are about to start off by going to our first residence hall, community living space for today, which is Keene. So Lucy is going to be joining us in Keene. But here's what we would like to do. We would love to have each of you, if you have questions about a building or about what one of our CAs is sharing with us or about dining later on, please feel free to use them in the Q&A, use the Q&A feature. JD is going to be watching that Q&A feature and is going to be answering questions. If you ask a question that he thinks is going to be really good for us to share with one of our panelists, he will pass it on to them as well. But please ask your questions, because of course we all know there's a lot of things to imagine when thinking about your life as a member of the Hamilton community. But with that said, we are going to start off in Keene with Lucy. I think there you go. All right. Hello, Lucy.
Yeah.
Can you introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about where you are?
Of course. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to see so many people here. My name is Lucy, as Anna said. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a second year. I'm in class of 2026. Some things that I am involved on campus is I'm a community advisor for the first time this year, which is super awesome. I do that in Dunham this year, but I actually lived in Keene my first year, so it's very close to my heart. I miss it. I had a great time there, lots of fun. I also work at the writing center and I'm on the diving team. Yeah, so that's about it for me.
About it. That sounds like a lot already. We're like, and
Yeah.
this for sure. So you're obviously very busy, involved on campus, but I know you're going to be showcasing a little bit about Keene, today for us. Do you want to give us a little bit of a tour?
Yeah, so I'm currently in the second floor common room, and the reason I started here, I'm just gonna flip my camera around so that you guys can see what I'm looking at, is to peek out the door, you could see that right over there are some of our academic buildings. So you see, even though like this is sometimes considered not as central of location, it really is like right near a lot of the dorms. And then right near a lot of the academic buildings, actually. And then looking at the second floor common room, we have a foosball table and bike racks, which are really great because you can store your bikes inside. I kept my bike here freshman year, so it would never get rusty or anything being out in the rain. We have this common area with sofas and a TV that people can use pretty much whenever they want. They also use them often for CA programs, which are sort of community building events that community advisors will put on for their residents. And moving through the building here, we
have some connectivity issues, but I'm sure Lucy's going to be back really soon.
baking program. So we made cookies in here. I used to do my homework at this table. It has a beautiful view of the Glen outside. So it's really very cozy. And there's like a nice sink and everything for you to wash your dishes. So you can see like going through the rooms here, there's the CA room, and then there are these individual rooms. So all of the rooms in here are doubles pretty much. And we have sort of a hall style bathroom. There's a single stall one and an all gender restroom with a cup, like maybe second floor is more typical of somewhere where people live.
Lucy, we're having a little bit of a
Floor is
connectivity.
Similar
We're
to
having a little.
first floor has a lot of the more like amenities type things. What's going on? Yeah.
We're having a bit of a connectivity
Okay.
issue, unfortunately. I think it's mostly when you're in the hallways. Would you be
Okay.
able to, we can hear you now, like super well.
Okay.
Do you have places where you can show us again a little bit about like from here without moving around? What do you think?
Yeah. So I'm actually right now in the laundry room
Oh,
because I think
okay.
that's a really important thing.
Important part for sure.
Yeah, so we have 2 washers and 2 dryers. I never had a problem getting my stuff in the laundry. There's a lot of competition here. And basically this is the first floor common area. So there's another little kitchen here, another table to do work, and an exit that goes right out towards the Glen. So it's very conveniently located for my Glen walks. And if you can still hear me in here, I know.
Yeah, we can hear you. So, but it looks like, so just to repeat a little bit of what we've been hearing, each floor has a different common room that kind of has a slightly different purpose. And we've been able to see several of them as well, and each of them getting out towards the Glen, which is of course Hamilton's one of the multiple sets of forests and hiking trails that students can appreciate during time on the hill.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite things about living here, was being right near that and being able to go to Glen walks whenever I want. I think the last thing I would add about Keene is that we have a ping pong table. Will come in from other dorms to use it. Different dorms have different things. I think one dorm has a pool table and stuff, so that's what we have in Keene. Yeah, I think just the way the space is configured is it's a very community oriented dorm, which I really appreciated, and it sort of has everything you need with the kitchen and everything. So I had a great time living here my freshman year.
Can we ask you, just because you were cutting out a little bit during the time when we were in the actual room space, would you be able to go back and see one of the rooms really quickly, like one of the bedrooms?
Unfortunately, I don't have access to any of the bedrooms at the
Okay.
moment, but
That's okay. No
they tend to be doubles with a massive amount of closet space, which is a really fun feature of all of the dorms on this side of campus, and these beautiful big windows that you can look out. And in most of the dorms, a bed is sort of near the window, so you can adjust that. You know, obviously we have blinds and everything for privacy, but you can sort of lie in bed and look out at the like glen outside, depending on which way your window is facing. So that's really nice.
Yeah, the big windows on actually funny enough on the dark side, because all the big windows bring all this light in, right? But it's on the
Yeah.
dark side of campus. And I know
Yeah.
a lot of students really appreciate those. Really helps you see the nature, and also so much light that comes into the residence halls.
Mhm.
So thank you, thank you. Anybody have any questions for Lucy and Keene at this point? Lucy, can you share with us how many people live in Keene? Do you know?
Yeah, I think there are about 20 people on each floor, so it's not a super huge dorm. I could be a little off. So there are two CAs for Keene. So one for the second and first floor, because there aren't so many people who live on the first floor. It might be like 6 to 10, something like that. And then one for the third floor as well.
Awesome. And so Hamilton has, of course, somewhere around 28 residence halls, right? Community living spaces, and 5 of them are specific for first-year students. For continuing on years, you would be able to live in a one of the other residence halls on campus, but for your first year, we want to make sure you live with first-year students, which is also part of the experience. All right, and I got a note from Tanith who has confirmed there are about 54 students who live in Keene right now. So a little bit of fun Keene facts for you today. Thank you, Lucy. We did have a question about pros and cons of light side rooms versus dark side. Is that something you feel qualified to talk about, or should we ask some of our other friends on the call?
I mean, I'm perfectly willing to talk about it since I lived here in Keene on dark side my freshman year, and now I live in Dunham on light side. I would say a lot of the pros of light side are sort of the central location, and people who have a lot of classes in the science center or spend a lot of time on the athletic fields like to live there. And here you're a little bit closer to the Glen, but you're also still pretty close to McEwen, which is one of our dining halls, and some of the academic buildings. So to be honest, the walk from light side to dark side is pretty short. I think it takes like maybe 7 minutes at a good pace, so it's not a huge difference, but people do have preferences sort of depending on what they're near. Yeah.
I think it's also kind of an interesting thing where people sometimes think that once I've lived on dark side, I've made a choice. I'm never going to live on light side. Definitely not the case. Most people will live on both sides and have classes on both sides of campus. So while there are definitely elements that are specific to different areas in campus, it's all one campus. And at the end of the day, light side, dark side, even gray side, if you believe that exists, which is a little bit of a political discussion, are all wonderful places of our community. So thank you so much, Lucy. We are going to move over to Wertimer, where we have Ava Jo, who's joining us. Ava Jo, hi. Would you be able to introduce yourself a little bit, and then let us know a little bit about you, and then where are you right now? Spoiler alert.
Yeah. My name is Ava Jo. I use they, them pronouns. I am a CA here. I am from Portland, Oregon, so West Coasters. I am on the pre-law track, a gov major and art minor. I also work at the Career Center on campus, and I'm an interfaith fellow at the chaplaincy. And then I also am on the cross country and track team at Hamilton. I am in Wertimer, which is a first-year dorm. It's got 45 students. It's gorgeous. It's what some would consider gray side. It's a little bit down the hill, but not too far down the hill. It's one of the closer to Central Campus gray side dorms. Is there anything else? I think that's it.
First-year students, right? First-year students.
Yes, it's just first-year students.
Awesome.
And so I'm gonna walk around. So currently I'm in the first floor common room right here. It's beautiful wood paneling. It's really fun. Lots of room, lots of spaces to hang out. We are the dorm with
imagine they're talking about the table that we're able to see. Ava, Joey are also having a little bit of connectivity
dorms.
issues.
I'm gonna take you into the kitchen in the first. Oh no. Here's the kitchen in the first year dorm. We've got a fridge. We've got lots of shelves, oven, stovetop, microwave, all of that. Did you get that? I don't know
Yeah,
how bad
totally
the
did. That we
connectivity
got.
is. And then I'm gonna take you guys for a quick walk up to third floor dorm. So you guys can see what the inside of that looks like. It's a double, all of the rooms in Mortimer are doubles. So it's really, yeah, it's pretty good. But here's the staircase. Not too exciting, but the railings are pretty.
Yeah, the railings are pretty for sure. Not short.
It's good, the whole place. I'm so sad that it's only a first year dorm because I wish I could come here. I did not get a chance to live here, which was very sad.
Where did you live your first year? Ava Jo, we've lost you
Lots
again.
of desk drawer space.
Okay, we got you. We got you back. We got you back. Hang on. This is what we're excited to see this. Can we start again with the room?
Yes, I'm gonna stand right in the middle of the room so I don't lose connection.
Awesome.
So we've got some. Every person that comes to campus has got one of these set of drawers. The mirror comes with the room. The desk comes with the room. So another set of drawers. We've got everyone gets a bed. Obviously, there's a lot of good underbed space. I use the underbed space a lot. I think it's pretty spacious, but you can like make it higher if you need to. But it's really nice. They've got really cute room decor they cleaned, which is really sweet. They've got great windows right here. The fridge and the microwave don't come with the room, but you definitely can bring your own. Let's see what else we've got. That's another desk, another set of drawers, and then these are the two closet. There we go.
I'm gonna call them a closet.
And so it's pretty spacious. I know the dark side closets are really, really big. This is pretty standard for gray side and light side closets. But you've got some good shelving space. There's lots of ways that you can make the most. I know my freshman year, I fit my fridge inside my closet along with all of my hanging clothes. So it can be done. Were you also like
secretly a Tetris master growing up? That was one of your skills?
Maybe I was.
Maybe in another way.
And then yeah, I could be. If the whole, undergraduate degree thing doesn't work out.
Yes,
and
there's room for both.
Very liberal arts education. And then this is what the closets look like. You can fit shoes underneath, hang stuff on the walls. It's pretty good. And then I'm gonna take you guys back down to see the laundry. I think that's the only thing I missed.
I think maybe just because of the whole connectivity thing. What if we ask you this question also? So the question about pros and cons of living on light side and dark side. What do you think?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. I am a CA in Dunn with Lucy, which is super fun, but I am a dark sider at heart. I always say I love dark side. I think it's beautiful. The lighting's incredible with the windows. So I'm an art major or art minor and a gov major. And so all of like this.
They're trying to tell you that
social sciences, so anthropology and gov and econ are all in KJ. What am I missing? Econ, gov, like public policy, world politics, anthro, soc, history are all in KJ. And so that's on dark side. And then KTSA is our performing arts and visual arts. And so that's where I do all my art classes, which is also on dark side. So typically on dark side, you'll find more of like the social sciences, more of the humanities, like the writing center. You'll find all the arts buildings, all of that. It's on dark side. And then light side is typically more like STEMmy. You've got CJ, you've got Root, you've got the Taylor Science Center. So that's a lot more STEMmy. And then all the athletics, of course. So I love Dark Side. I think it's really fun. It's very artsy. It's very cool. Light Side's amazing too. I really appreciate Dunham because it's got the best location on campus. It's in the middle of everything.
Bit of
It's
spoiler
like,
alert, because we're going to Dunham next, is where we're going.
yeah, it's
Um,
like a 30-second walk to the dining halls. It's like you can get to the sports field, you can get to so many different academic buildings. Everything is, yeah, you're in the middle of everything. You're right on Martin's Way, which is our big brick path that goes all the way from one campus to the other, or what, from Dark Side to Light Side, all the way from across campus. So I think I love Dark Side. That's really just, it depends on like what you are interested and involved in on campus. Like I'm an athlete, and so everyone would think that I'm on Light Side, but I like Dark Side more. But it's really just, if you think the dorms are prettier, the Dark Side dorms are a lot more concrete, a bit more brutalist, like very brutalist 70s architecture. And then Light Side dorms are much more classic yellow brick, like very upstate New York feel. You know, you can tell those buildings were built like more than 50 years ago. So that's like, there's a difference in architecture too. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Ava Jo. So
Yeah.
you gave us a perfect intro into Dunham, which is where we're going to go next. So I'm going to ask if Daphne can join us from Dunham. Thank you, Ava Jo. I'm going to go ahead and switch us. Now, we had a question that was asked, which was saying, oh, what is dark side? What is light side? So I'm going to take just 2 seconds. I'm going to talk about what that means. So at Hamilton, dark side and light side, it's kind of like a shorthand for this part of campus and that part of campus, right? So really we kind of use it in a passing way, because the dark side of campus tends to have the ones with the bigger windows and slightly darker color of the outside of the buildings. Light side of campus is the more center part of campus. Dark side of campus has a lot of the humanities on it. So we use it a little bit as a shorthand, but the reality is it's all one campus, and you'll have some classes on dark side, some on light side. You'll live on dark side one year, light side on another. And it's just really a shorthand of saying, oh, I'll meet you on dark side type of thing. Not too much to worry about. So with that said, Daphne, hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. So thank you for joining us. And we've been kind of talking a little bit about, where you're calling in from, but can you tell us a little bit, introduce yourself, Daphne, and then tell us where are you calling in from?
Yeah, so my name is Daphne. I'm a sophomore, and like Lucy and Ava Jo, I'm also a CA in Dunham. I'm currently in my room. My CA single, but just a couple things that I'm involved in on campus. So apart from being a CA, I'm also an SGA, or Student Government Alliance. I'm a class representative for the sophomore class. And I'm also the chair of the health committee. I am one of the co-chairs for La Vanguardia, which is a Latinx club on campus. And I am also a research tutor at Burke Library. So you guys can see me at the library, sitting at the desk sometimes. But yeah, so to kick off this tour, I'm gonna actually get out of my room and go to one of my residence rooms, which is right next to me. So
Awesome. Oh, go team.
there we go. Okay. So this is, with permission of my resident, of course. This is one of the rooms. So regular double in Dunham. As you see, like the windows are very nice, and it's a very central window to the center of campus. So the two dressers, the tables, they chose to like put the two tables together and make their beds together in the same room. There's a lot more window space on this side. But yeah, beautiful decorations in here, and this is their closet. It's a little bit dark in here. Let me turn off.
So this is both of these spaces are for just 2 students? Oh, the closet's got a lot
Yes.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of closet space. You guys were not kidding.
Yeah. Pretty good closet space. So yeah. I has rooms. I was a Grace Sider freshman year, and I was in Wally J. So I really liked that experience. I think that Wally was definitely the best campus, or the best dorm to be in freshman year. But have done them so much. So now to proceed on to the tour, this is just a little bit of like the hallways in Dunham. They're very, very long. Dunham is the biggest dorm.
Biggest dorm on
I
campus.
believe. And I am the CA, one of the CAs in the third floor. Yes. And there's CAs on every floor, I believe. And there's also a basement. Third
Yeah.
floor, just because it's on the first
Unfortunately,
floor, it's a little bit
Daphne,
easier to get to.
yeah, we've been losing you a little bit in the hallways. Hallways is a little bit tough right now. Ooh, we got a laundry room.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes, there
Quarters
we
are
go.
worth their weight in gold for sure.
Yeah, so this is the laundry room. This one is a little bit smaller, but there is a bigger laundry room and space in the basement. I believe there's like basement, so everyone gets a chance to wash their clothes. So worries about. And now I'm walking over to the common room on the first floor. So the common room, like Lucy said before, do work times doing outside. You room and stuff.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of a hard time
This is
hearing you,
actually
unfortunately.
the area
Can we ask
director's
you?
office.
Oh, all right, we're
But this
cool.
is
We're good. Hang on, sorry. Daphne, would you be able to repeat a little bit of that? Because now we can see you again, but we lost you a little bit in the hallway.
Yeah, so this is the common room. This is just a really great space to, hang out with friends, for CAs, like Lucy said, to host programs and to do work if you really want to. Yeah. And I believe there are people that don't want any of their clothes, like they leave it here. But yeah, it's a really good space, especially for when it's snowing outside and you don't want to walk all the way to dark side or something. It's a great way to like do work and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much um
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So questions about Dunham, about for Daphne, for our next step on our tour is going to be dining facilities. But if anyone has questions for Daphne, please do use them in the chat. So one person has asked, and maybe for any of our CAs who are on this call, do you usually have to wait for bathrooms in the morning? Is it pretty crowded? Or I would imagine probably there's always morning people, evening people for showering and things like that, right? Yeah, go ahead, Daphne.
Yeah. Yeah, so I wanted to take this because denim, actually, I've never had to run into this problem, which is something that I had to face in Wally. Like sometimes people would take really, really long showers and I would have to wait until they're done. But in Dunham, the bathrooms are so big and some of them are gender neutral, so um there is no waiting time and there's a really big opportunity for people to use the bathroom like whenever they wanted to. So yeah, I don't.
So like not a huge issue that you've got to plan your whole like morning around. Usually things tend to work out. And I also imagine you're going to get into a rhythm with your house, with the people living in your same hallway, and shouldn't be an issue. So we want to say thank you, Daphne, and we are going to keep cruising at this point. And we are now going to transition a little bit, and we are going to talk about Commons, which is one of our dining facilities here on campus. So in Commons, we have two students who are Jack and Adina. I'm going to go ahead and put a pin, and I'm going to ask each of you to please introduce yourself and then show us a little bit around Commons, starting with Adina.
I'm gonna let Jack introduce himself first, just so that we can switch directly from my intro to a little
Starting
tour.
with Jack. It's going to be great.
Okay, much ado, but hi everyone. My name is Jack. I'm a senior and a senior admission fellow, so I work alongside Anna and JD. And hopefully I've interviewed some of you if you're on the call. Outside of that, I've also been involved on the men's rowing team and the mock trial teams here. And then I work as an assistant for the student activities office.
And I'm Adina. I'm also a senior and a senior admission fellow. I'm a government major with a geoscience minor. And for anyone here who might be Posse, I'm a Posse scholar, so I'm from South Florida, specifically Broward County. At Hamilton, I've been involved with the women's rowing team, so go us. I've also been a member of student assembly or student government, as it's called now, in a few different positions. And now as a senior, I am a student representative for the Board of Trustees for buildings and equipment. So it's very exciting. And then besides that, I also work in the library as a student relation assistant, and I used to work at the Career Center. So I'm happy to talk about that if anyone's curious. But moving into a tour of at least the dining areas in our dining hall, which is Commons. This is I believe it's the largest dining hall on campus. We're gonna take it surface level because I don't want to climb 2 flights of stairs. So first, if you follow my finger, you'll see that little balcony up there. That's one of our 2 second floor dining areas. And as I walk in the middle of a bunch of other students, I will make a little 180 so we can see that other second level dining option. These alcoves each hold, I would say, like 20 to 30 people. They're really great if you want to have a longer conversation. It's quieter than the main area of the dining hall, as you might be able to hear. However, the largest part of this dining hall is this main hall, which I'll give you another big glare at. It has, I believe these are all the flags of students that attend the school. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm assuming that because it changes every year. Sorry for the people that are walking past. And then if you look to your right, you'll see our sauces, our disposal area, and a quick like grab and go for drinks and ice cream. So sorry, Jack, if I'm stealing your thunder on that the dining experience.
No, all good.
The last dining area we have. Okay, perfect. And then the last dining area I have is in the direction of Jack. And you'll see as I walk right past her. I know. Whoa. You'll see our sunroom area. This is where I personally will fight for my life to try to get a seat because I love a sun moment. It's the most competitive place to sit, so at your own risk, but in my opinion, worth it. All right, see you, Jack.
Okay, so I'll hop in and I'll show you the servery, which is here. I call it the food room. So this is where you come to get your food. So I'll just run you through all the options that we have here in Commons. Like Adina said, it's our largest dining hall seating wise and also food wise. So there's more options here than at any of the other dining halls. Right here at this station, we have like a rotating health food bowl, make your own station. So something like sweet green or chopped, if you're familiar. There's rice and grains. You can get lettuce and then add sort of meat, vegetables, things like that. Down here, we have pizza, which is my favorite to get at like 3 p.m. on the way to the library. Really good on the go. Straight ahead is our home line, which rotates every meal. There's normally a meat, a starch, and a vegetable, and it changes based on the day. And then here we have our grills, so there's always fries, black bean burgers, and then there's chicken, turkey burgers, beef burgers that rotate, and then buns for those. This is one of our rotating sections. So sometimes it's a baked potato bar, sometimes it's a pasta bar. It really depends on the day. Here we have our toasters where you can toast bagels, English muffins, and toast. And then we also have cream cheese, peanut butter, butter. Actually, excuse me, it's not peanut butter. I believe it's peanut free. So this is sun butter. And then we have the deli over here, and then our salad bar. So we have pre-made salads, like couscous, egg salad, chicken salad, things like that. And then also the salad bar, which has lettuce, fruit, yogurt, cottage cheese. And then we're almost done. We have soups here, make your own waffle station. And then in this smaller room, we have desserts, cereal, beverages, and then a U-Cook station. So there's 3 induction stove tops here, and then eggs and vegetables in these cases if you want to make your own food. And people get really creative grabbing things and ingredients from the other lines here to sort of make unique creations. And then I'll just point out here, I I think it's called Oasis. This is our allergen-free station. So it's free of all 8 major allergens all the time. But then just to flag, every station has a menu like this, and it'll show every food that's free of certain allergens. So while this station is free of all 8 major allergens all the time, you can still eat more than just this. And the dining hall staff is really helpful in pointing you in the right direction of what you can and can't eat, depending on your certain dietary needs. So yeah, that's
We did have a
the food room.
question. We did have a question about vegetarian and vegan options. What do you think?
Yeah, so I can half answer that. I'll say that McEwen is our dining hall that you'll see right after this. And they're known for having more of an emphasis on vegan and vegetarian options. For instance, there's always a vegetarian protein there every night. So like tofu or tempeh, whereas there isn't here in Common. Sometimes there is and sometimes there isn't. So I would say McEwen is a great resource for students looking to eat like that. And then, of course, as you just saw, Commons has a ton of options, even if it's not the main entree that you're eating to satisfy your dietary needs. There's a ton of different things that you can mix and match here to put together a really nutritious and filling vegetarian or vegan meal.
Very cool. Thank you. Thank you. We also had a question about kosher meat options. Answer, yes. Kosher meat options are available at each meal. So you'll be able to find those options, and they should also be listed. You can ask at the beginning of the year which items will be kosher, or which ones are halal, if that's your what you follow as well, and we'll be able to accommodate you in that way. Now, question from me for both of you. What's your favorite Hamilton Commons meal? What's your favorite Commons meal?
I'll start while Idina's powering back up, but I think the pizza, I don't know, it's really good. I love getting it 4 slices for dinner, 1 slice for a snack, and everything in between. So I'd recommend that.
Did you say 4 slices for dinner? Just making sure I heard you properly.
I did, yeah. But as you grow up, you eat more and more pizza to satisfy your needs.
I had pizza for dinner like today. Oh my gosh, what a good day it's been. Adina, same question.
Okay, this is so small, but I feel like when I first got to school, because we were in everything being really packaged because of COVID regulations, having fresh fruit here is like life-changing and absolutely makes my day, especially on those colder, like less sunny days, especially in combination with the chia pudding, which I always really enjoy. Such a great way to start the day. Sometimes it's like my midday snack. Highly recommend.
Absolutely. Awesome. And for your first year, you are likely going to be having a meal plan that's unlimited dining at either Commons or at McEwen, which is where we are going to go next. So thank you so much, Adina, and thank you, Jack. If you have any other questions, of course, you guys can feel free to use the chat. But we are going to cruise right along over to McEwen, where we're going to have 2 students, Bobin as well as Emily, who are going to be there. Let me fix the pins, which is really fun, trying to do that at the same time. All right, McEwen Dining Hall, pin, add pin. Ooh. There's, oh look, it's Emily, and there's Bowen. So spoiler alert. Hello. So glad to see you both in McEwen 1, McEwen 2. So please introduce yourselves. Let us know who you are, and then give us a tour around McEwen.
Yeah, so I'll kick it off first. Hi, everyone. I'm Emily. I am also a senior who is also a senior fellow in admissions. So hopefully maybe I interviewed some of you as well, like Jack said. But when I'm not in admissions, I am a math and psych double major. I've been on the rowing team all 4 years. And I actually walked on my freshman year, and this year I'm a captain. And then also for the past 3 summers, I've been an orientation leader for all the incoming first years on your orientation trips. So although I won't be one of your leaders, they'll be graduating. They're always such a fun time, and I always enjoy leading them. So that's a little bit about me, but I'll turn it over to Bobin.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Bogan. I'm originally from Queens, New York, and I'm also a senior and a senior admissions fellow. So again, like everyone was saying, there's a chance I interviewed you. I am an economics major and a women's and gender studies minor. And some things I'm involved on campus. I'm a part of a cappella, some of a group called the Hamiltones. I'm also an orientation leader like Emily, and I tutor in Korean. So yeah, I'm gonna get our tour of McEwen here started off. And I'm actually downstairs right now because the way you get there is by taking the stairs. So if I just put my
Rock,
camera
show
here.
us the rock. Show us the rock.
Yes. Oh, the rock, of course.
Oh.
So this is an iconic part of the Hamilton campus. And it's right where McEwen is. So here, if you go
Like
upstairs,
a big hanging rock connected by stone. It was like a whole historical art project. It's pretty fun.
So I'm just gonna scan in here.
Oop.
I don't know if you heard that, but yep. So first we have kind of the food section here. So it's a little bit smaller than Commons overall in terms of the size and also the food options, but I think there's definitely plenty of things to eat here. So first we have the Buff and Blue Grill, which kind of rotates on a daily basis. Right now they kind of have these like stir fry noodles and French fries and soup. So there's always going to be soup and rice and stuff like that as well. Sometimes they have like taqueria, sometimes they have like flatbreads. It really depends on the day. We also have pizza here in McEwen. Right now it's running a little low, but then also we have destinations, which is kind of like the setting where you can get the hot food here. If I turn around, there's like this really cool mural here. And this has been like an iconic part of McEwen for a very long time. There's like a bunch of booths and a lot of tables here. And I feel like just in general, McEwen's kind of like a closer like atmosphere in terms of like you kind of stay close to people. So if you go here, there's some ice cream and there's always a bunch of different flavors. This is actually a great selection of flavors right now. And we go here, actually, we'll see Emily where the drinks are.
Oh my gosh, it's Emily. Hello.
Hey, so I guess I'll take over for my section. I just got to figure out how to, oh my gosh, rotate my camera. So sorry about that. Yeah, so over here, we have a little waffle station. So for a little pick-me-up, people always enjoy making waffles. But yeah, like Bobin said, we have our drink selection over here. There's always coffee rotating around. There's always juices. And people always enjoy the coffee here. They kind of get to make their own with some fun syrups. But yeah, and then over here, we kind of also have a salad bar. They have, I would argue, some better toppings than almonds, in my opinion. They always have chickpeas, which are my favorite. And then over here, we always have salad or sandwich meats and cheeses and sandwich toppings, because we also have like a toaster, like panini press type thing. So students will always, if they're on the rush, kind of they'll make a sandwich or make a salad and eat on the go. And we always have dessert over here in addition to ice cream. But yeah, and then also for breakfast options on the go as well. There's cereal selection and milk as well. And in here, always like the salad, or not salad, sorry, like toppings for like bagels, or anything, or sandwiches or anything like that. And then around here, sometimes if you want to make your own food, we have the You Cook station, also like Commons as well. So they always have their egg toppings, like Jack mentioned. People always get creative with what they want to make. I usually use it for eggs in the morning. If I have some extra time, some people make fried rice or stir fry or anything like that. And there's also some more seating options over here, a little more homier, some booths. But then to round it up, to bring it full circle back to academics, so that's what you're going to Hamilton for. I'm going to walk through here. There's Bobin again. But the fun thing about McEwen is that it actually connects to an academic building. So when you're done with your meal and have class or might be running late to class, we're right back into KJ, which is where all the classrooms are if you're doing work. That's the nice thing about McEwen, is it's kind of connected to KJ. You don't actually have to walk outside if it's really cold out. But yeah, so that's a little tour of McEwen.
Thank you, thank you. We had a question that was submitted. Where do you eat late at night? Can you talk about late night eating?
Yeah, definitely. So late at night is off. Well, the dining halls also stay open later as well. Usually, I forget the exact hours, but sometimes it's 8:30 or 9. So like for me with rowing, like we get back from practice kind of late at like 7. So the dining halls are still open then. But from Thursday to Sunday, there's actually an option called Diner B. So although we didn't get to show you guys Diner today, Diner is another one of our dining halls, my personal favorite. But they always have Diner B. So like if you're up late doing homework or just out and about and a little hungry, Diner B has like breakfast. Like there's always like the Diner Mess, which is like scrambled eggs with like tater tots and cheese and everything like that. There's always like bacon, egg, and cheeses. So that's also an option for late night dining on campus.
Can you both share with us, what's your favorite McEwen meal?
Yeah, so I can take it first just to answer the last question. I personally enjoy McEwen breakfast. In my opinion, I think it's the best breakfast on campus. I don't know what about it is. It's the same options as every other spot on campus, like with Commons or anything like that. But in my opinion, I think it's a little bit better. So I always enjoy my time at McEwen breakfast. I actually had it this morning. Cooked my own eggs, had some bacon and some potatoes. Overall, great breakfast. So I always enjoy McEwen breakfast.
Awesome.
Yeah. For me, I personally really enjoy the caprese flatbreads they have in McEwen. Usually it's kind of on a rotating basis, like once a week I'll probably see them. But they're really good. They have like obviously like cheese, tomato, like basil. And I like to add kind of like some of the cold cuts from like the deli section and kind of make it into like a little sandwich. So
Oh,
that's
you
always really
fancy.
good.
You
Oh
fancy.
yeah, gotta make additions for sure.
Oh, we had a question. It says, do the meal plans cover diner? Yeah, they do.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
What can you tell us about that?
About diner?
Yeah, about like do they have like a limitation, or like you can eat a diner anytime you, or tell us about diners, since we didn't get to see it on this.
Yeah, of course. Diner is completely on your meal plan as well. So whenever you go up and order, usually the diner has kind of like your classic kind of sandwiches you would think about, like Philly cheesesteaks, chicken parms, you can get chicken tenders, you get Caesar wraps. So there's quite a bit of variety at diner. There's a huge menu, and you can get a side of fries, you can get a side of mac salad, mac and cheese sometimes. So this is all in the meal plan. You can swipe all, whatever you want. I personally sometimes if I'm having a big day, I'll get like two or three things at diner, and I'll just like constantly get back online and swipe, and that's totally fine because it's fully on the meal plan. So yeah.
Awesome. We also had a question about the pub themed food type of thing. Would either of you be able to tell us a little bit about pub?
I can
Yeah, I
talk
can
about
talk. Oh, sorry,
Wait,
Jack. Do you
or
want
no,
to talk
Emily,
about?
you no, I want you to talk about it.
Oh, okay. I mean, you could also add on if I miss anything. But pub also has options every day of the week for lunch. That's kind of a big thing on campus, pub lunch. It's actually kind of funny. I hadn't gone to pub lunch until senior year, which is kind of crazy because most people go as early as freshman year because it's everyone loves pub lunch. But they kind of have like different options throughout the week. Sometimes it's similar to what McEwen or Commons has, but usually it's very different. Like I know every Tuesday they always have like Taco Tuesday. So me and my roommates will sometimes go and we'll all just like eat outside when it's nice out, but they always have like meat and like the typical taco like toppings and like chips, everything like that. It's definitely smaller. Like they're not going to have everything that Commons has, so it's very much a set menu. But oftentimes it's a very good menu.
Thank you, thank you. All right, well, so thank you both. We are now going to transition towards a Q&A section, bringing back Ashley and Kenneth from earlier on, see if folks have additional questions about community living here at Hamilton, any other types of questions. I'm going to go ahead and replace the pins, but I know we also have a question, which I'm pretty sensitive to, which is from a student saying, well, how have international students adjusted towards eating on a Hamilton campus? So I'll start and then maybe ask if Ashley or Kenneth would like to add some as well. So the reality is if you come as an international student to study in the United States, the food is going to be different, right? That's going to be a transition. You're going to be trying a lot of new things, and there's going to be an experience adjusting to that. Now, most of our students will find a lot of delicious options that they enjoy and will tell you what their favorite meals are the same way any of our other students on this call did. What I would also say, though, is there's a very strong community of our international students in cooking and preparing food with each other, right? So you saw earlier a few of the kitchens that were available in residence halls, and I know some of our international students are amongst our most talented chefs and really find it a really enjoyable thing every once in a while to cook a meal for each other, talking about things that they have from their home country. Now, we do have some programs where International Student Services will also sometimes bring in periodically chefs who can specialize in a certain kind of food or host their own cooking events to give you the opportunity to do that as well. So there may be an opportunity for you to share a recipe at some point that people can make and share across campus. But the reality is it'll be a different experience. and you'll be able to find options that you'll be able to adjust to. Cooking is also something, and a lot of people don't realize the proximity we have towards Utica, which also is a really wonderful location. It's a diverse city where 1 in 3 families that live in the Utica area, it's about 20 minutes from campus, were born outside the United States, which means you can find really wonderful grocery stores for cooking ingredients. You'd be so surprised what you can get 20 minutes from campus. And if you do enjoy cooking your own food that represents your own culture, you'll be able to find those options as well. So with that said, we are so glad and so grateful to each of our panelists who've been on the call today. But we are ready to answer any last minute questions that you may have, and are so grateful also for Ashley and Tana for helping us here. So we have a couple questions in the Q&A. Somebody's asking about appliances you can bring for your residence hall. Would either of you be able to talk to us about that?
Yeah, so when you're moving into your residence hall, there's a big list online that you should check out of things that you can't bring because they're a fire hazard. And most appliances are on that list. But what you can have is things like a Keurig machine so that you can make your own coffee. You can have a tea kettle as long as it doesn't have a hot plate that stays hot. You can have those sorts of small things. Things you can't have in your room are toasters, air fryers, waffle makers. Those things you need to leave at home and utilize the ones that are available in the dining halls.
What about the flamethrower that's been passed on to my family for 3 generations? Can I bring that with me?
Leave that at home too, please.
Okay, fine. I'm sure, at least as long as it's on the list, that's fine.
Samurai swords go with that too. Yeah.
Samurai swords also? Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So thank you for clarifying that. I'm sure it's very helpful. So someone has asked, can you request where you live? Can you talk to us a little bit about that process?
So
Yes.
Tanith, I'm gonna jump in really quickly before you do that, because I want to clarify something, and I'm gonna lead into what Tanith will talk about too. And so when we were talking about dining, there was a question about kosher. And so actually kosher food is one thing that in the dining halls we really don't have. That's one thing that is really tricky. Our dining services is always working on improving, and that's something that they're focused on and trying to figure out how we can better serve our population of students who follow kosher practices. And so what we do is, because we recognize that, we do work with students through the accommodation process. And so if someone follows kosher and is in need of an accommodation, there's an accommodation process where they can fill out a form and a committee will review that. And so they may be let off the dining plan, and there may be other ways that we can help them with food. And so if that applies to you, please reach out to us and let us know so that we can help you with that process and make sure that you're set up when you arrive, so that there's no disruption to that. And then I'll tie that into housing by saying the accommodation process also applies to housing. So I'll hand that over to Tanith to talk more about requests and kind of how the housing process works.
Thanks, Ashley. So you are going to get your housing assignment through a housing questionnaire that is going to ask you a whole bunch of questions about yourself. Part of that is if you do need an accommodation, whether it's for something like you eat kosher or it's a medical accommodation, if you have a mobility concern or other medical concern. That's the first part, which is it'll direct you to that accommodation process. And then after that, you will have your regular questionnaire. And that's going to ask you all kinds of fun questions about yourself, like, do you stay up late at night? Do you smoke? Are you messy? Or are you clean? Those sorts of things. Do you want to party or do you want to study in your room? It's going to ask you a whole bunch of questions about yourself. And we are going to use that form to place you with your roommate or roommates for your first year. So tips for filling out that form: do it alone. Sit down somewhere and do it alone without other people's input. Be very, very honest and talk about how you actually live. So if your bedroom right now at home is messy, don't pretend that you're going to be clean next year, because you most likely will still be messy when you get to college. So tell me that you're messy. Be really honest when you're filling out that form. There is one section where you get to write a paragraph about yourself and use that paragraph to tell us what you want us to know about you. You can tell us what kind of music you like, or that you like to knit, or that you love to watch scary movies, all kinds of stuff about yourself that will help us find you a roommate that you're going to be compatible with and that you're going to have something in common with. And you're going to get that form in early June, and then you'll get your housing assignment in July.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So I think that's a really good piece of advice. Answer the form as the person that you are, not the person that you aspire to be, when you do your whole renewal process in college, because hopefully some of that renewal process goes well, but some of it is like the people that we're going to be, right? So I think that's a really good piece of advice. I know we've had a couple questions that have been answered in the chat through Q&A feature, so thank you for that. We did want to ask also, when you joined us for our panel today, Ashley and Tanith, what did you hope that people would learn, or what would one thing be about community living at Hamilton that you would want people to know at the end of today's session?
I'll start, I guess. We haven't really talked about this, but one thing that I would want people to know is that community living, we are people, and we want to help you, and we want to be here for you, and we want to support you. So as you make your decision about Hamilton, as you have questions, when you get your housing questionnaire, if you have questions, reach out to us. We love to talk to you. We love to answer your questions. We really want to make sure that you are well informed and that you're excited when you come here in August, and that you're not worried about things that you're not sure about. So reach out to us and let us know what you're thinking about, and we'll help you every step of the way.
I would add to that, that one thing that I think is really, really important for our students when they're coming in is that, community living is not just in the residence halls, it's across campus, right? So we kind of oversee the residence hall stuff, but your experience is so much more than that, right? And so it's going to be a little overwhelming. When you come, you should get to know the people around you, focus on the people. Don't focus on being involved in 92 different things, right? There's so much here for you. Take it little by little and get to know the people. The people are going to be the most important part of your experience. And if you're finding that you're having a little trouble finding your people, let us know. Tanith and I talk to students all the time who are kind of struggling to find who they really connect with on campus. And we've been able to connect them to CAs or different groups or different other professional staff who've been able to really help. And so, we're really here to support you. We really are a family. We really do love you, and we want you to have the best experience possible. So get to know the people and really focus on those relationships when you first get here.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think that's a really great place to leave today's program. We wanted to say a very humble thank you to everyone for joining us. One last congratulations. And also just a comment, which is that coming to college is going to be a great experience for you. It's going to be a life-changing experience in a lot of ways. If you're a little nervous about how this is going to be, I remember meeting my roommate and I was like, oh my gosh, somebody's going to live with me. It's going to be so nervous about it. Like, realize it's a totally natural response, right? And that everyone comes to college and has the same idea of, I'm nervous about it, I'm excited about it. You're gonna find your people. You're gonna ask for resources and ask for help. If you need kosher meals, you are gonna let us know in advance so we can make sure that you are taken care of. And you'll realize that there will be people here that want to see your success. That includes all of our friends and colleagues in community living. Thank you to everyone for joining us for today's panel. If you have other questions, of course, continue to reach out to us. If you ever like, how do I reach somebody? You can start with the admissions office and we will pass you over to people that you need to talk to, no worries. If you want additional programs to get to know even more about Hamilton, we have additional virtual Hamilton Hangouts coming up. In fact, This Tuesday, we have a session on Inside the Opportunity Program. So we welcome you to join us for that program. On Wednesday of next week, it's fall options for January admit students. And on Thursday, it's our student research panel. You are welcome to join any of these programs. You'll find that information through your email telling you about those. But in the meantime, continue connecting with your classmates, continue getting excited for the class of 2028. Thank you so much, and congratulations once again for the opportunity to join our community here at Hamilton. Bye-bye.